One of the people who prepared the report on the Airborne Regiment for David Collinet is Brian Vernon. He's the Commander, Land Forces Central Area. He joins us now from Ottawa. General, are you the one that Mr. Collinet went to and said, get that report on my desk as soon as possible?
Well, I was tasked from the Chief of Defense Staff to conduct an investigation, which was done over the weekend in Camp Petawawa. We were on rather tight timelines. Towards the end of Sunday evening, there was an anonymous delivery of a videotape. I tasked a person to quickly run through it to identify, if he could, anything that was out of line on the tape. And he reported back that most of it seemed to be innocuous, but there was one section that was at least questionable. So I said, right, we better look at that. About 5 of us sat down. We watched, I think, about 6 minutes of the tape. And it was a scene that had people passing bread and eating it, and then passing it on to the person next to them.
Yeah.
The balance of it was pretty innocuous. The commanding officer of the unit was told to take the tape, to investigate the matter, to determine who was involved, what happened, and to sort it out. That investigation is now almost complete.
Okay, General, I have to interrupt. I'm sorry. Did you see the video of the soldiers testing each other for endurance with electric shock?
No, I did not.
If you had seen that tape, what would your reaction have been to it?
I first of all would have gone ballistic, and then secondly I would have included it in my report. There was absolutely no effort made to conceal anything or to mislead anyone reading the report.
Mr. Collinet says, his question today, why was that not included in the original report? Could you answer that question for him?
Yes, the answer is straightforward, because we didn't see that. Had we seen it, we most definitely would have reported it.
What do you think should be done at this stage, General?
I think the investigation should be completed. Those responsible, if they can be identified, should then be, their conduct should be reviewed as it is as we speak now, and that will be brought to a proper conclusion.
The word that's being tossed about already, General, is there's a cover-up taking place here. How is it that the Minister of Defense knows nothing about this? How is it that the Chief of Defense Staff knows nothing about this? Cover-up is the only explanation. Your response to that?
If I had seen that portion of the tape, and if I had not reported it, then you would be absolutely correct. However, I still believe that Lee Harvey Oswald shot JFK.
There's also the line that's been said by more than one person, General. The Airborne supposedly was cleaned up in the summer of 1994. How can it be cleaned up? The Liberals are in power, and we still have the same kind of behavior, if not worse, going on by the same kinds of people from the same regiment. Where's the cleaning up?
The Airborne Regiment has been under a very intense media microscope for the last 2 years. No unit is 100% perfect, and in this particular case, obviously something improper occurred, something that none of us would sanction. We don't deny that. The point is to identify what happened, to determine who was responsible, if anyone, and to take action accordingly.
General, if you watched David Collinet this afternoon, that was a very angry man, and it wasn't just the press he was going after. He seemed very clear in getting to the bottom of this. He said that was his intention. He wanted to find out who was responsible for this and why he didn't get the details in the original report.
Mr.
I want to tell you, I really appreciate your coming
angry
on our show today, but are you the man who is, are you going to be the one forced to fall on your sword because of this?
That depends on the minister's assessment of the situation, but I very clearly am the one who was the author and who signed the report, and if I in any way omitted information that the minister should have had, then I am responsible. I did not do so deliberately.
General Vernon, thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you, and good evening.